cooking video on how to make pork buns, which I have never done before.
We are Nick and Sam Simpson, and welcome to Sims on the Go. We quit our jobs to travel the world in 2019, and although our plans slightly changed for the meantime, we would love for you to join us on this journey, whether it's domestic or international. We decided that while we're not traveling internationally, we still wanted to enjoy some international flavors in our life. We hope this video makes you very hungry and eager to make your own Taiwanese pork baos.
Heck yes, let's do this. But first, I need a few ingredients. It's nothing like the feeling of taking off the mask on a hot day. Let's go cook. Welcome to Nick's official first cooking video, and today we are cooking pork baos slash buns, whatever you want to call them, they're the same thing. But the reason we are doing this is because if you follow us on Facebook, I posted a poll of if I should cook Mexican or Taiwanese food, and you chose Taiwan. And then I chose two different dishes from Taiwan, which was beef noodle soup or pork bun, and you chose pork bun, which I am super excited to cook today. I have never done this. We chose Taiwan and Mexico because they were our favorite places as far as food. If you haven't seen any of those videos, they are right here. But I'm missing something. I realize I don't have an apron because we are in this apartment temporarily. So Sam is currently making me an apron, and I just happened to glance over there and yikes. Let's see this apron. These are basically old shirts tied around. You know, not too bad. Thank you. Love you. And the recipe that I have below here is something I made from a bunch of different recipes. And if you have any questions or comments, please let us know below because I would love to hear your feedback. And if you cook this, please send me a picture. I would love to see how your bao turned out. First off, we need to get started with the dough because the dough needs to set for at least an hour to rise. Basically, it just needs to double in size. That takes at least an hour. So let's get started with that. The ingredients in the dough are super simple, but you can mess this up so easily. It's warm water, active yeast, sugar, some oil, a little salt, and baking powder. So a very important thing in mixing the yeast and getting it activated is using warm water. Because if you use cold water, it won't activate it. And if you use hot water, it'll kill it. And if you add the salt to the water mixture, it'll kill the yeast. And you just don't do that. You just don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. So that's what you're looking for right there. That. Yes, that. So essentially you're gonna mix this mixture with this mixture in here, stir it up. We're gonna line the bowl with some oil. We're gonna put the dough in there, we're gonna cover it, and then just let it hang out in a warm area. You don't wanna put it in the fridge, you don't wanna put it outside, you don't wanna put it anywhere. On top of your fridge is the best place because the top of your fridge is a little warm, and it just helps it kind of rise a little faster, because if it's in a cold environment, it'll take that much longer to rise up. And for the record, I probably should have made this ahead of time, so at least I look like I know what I'm doing, but this is the first time I've ever made this in my entire life. So we're gonna see, either witness something amazing happen or something amazingly bad happen. By the way, it's amazing. If you've been following us on Instagram, you'll know that we have a little pup in our house right now. We're fostering, and he was supposed to be my sous chef today, but he's over there just not helping at all. Yeah, thanks for the help. Now, if you've never kneaded anything before, essentially you want to push, fold back, push again, fold back, and then spin. So basically you're using the palms of your hands to stretch the gluten. Now for this dough, you don't need to knead as much, but if you're doing pasta, you would need to knead for a very long time. That's your dough. Okay, so it's currently 3 p.m. At 4 p.m. we're gonna reconvene with that dough and see where we're at, but we need to cook this tenderloin because that also is a huge part of the filling. So the filling consists of tenderloin, scallions, ginger, garlic, rice vinegar, delicious hoisin sauce, soy sauce. So for the tenderloin, we're just going to rub some allspice. It's a Chinese spice, it's like a little berry thing. We're just gonna basically rub the outside of it. We're gonna sear the tenderloin in a pan, finish it in the oven because that's the best way to do it in my opinion, and it'll give the pork a nice texture when we do the filling. Now for this tenderloin, you kind of want to cut most of this fat off, but because it's tenderloin, it typically just kind of peels off. This right here is it's called silver skin. You don't want that stuff. This guy's going to be the snack. It's called the Chateaubriand. It's just a nice little end piece of the tenderloin. It's the most tender part. That's going to be our snack while we wait for the dough. Et voila. So you want to let the rub sit on the meat just for a few minutes, no more than 5 minutes, just to kind of soak in and kind of get that nice crust so when you sear it, it doesn't flake off. It kind of stays in the meat. Let's go sear it. Slaunching something. So as it's resting for about 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to start making the filling. And I do want to show you the dough and how much it's risen since we mix it together. So as you can see, it's about 2 times as much as it was. I think this bowl was a little small for what this was, but I think that means we can make more baos now. So as the meat is resting and I'm preparing this, check out these awesome drone shots from when we were in Taiwan. Did that convince you yet? If not, maybe this will. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see that. Here we go. God. Oh my God. I think I'm going back for another one of these.
Oh my goodness.
So for the steamer, we're gonna get the water going right now. You kind of want to have a light boil because the big bubbles will rip it apart if it's boiling too much, and the water will boil away and you'll ruin your pan. But typically, the easiest way to do it would be to get some Napa cabbage and just kind of rip a piece off and put it in the levels of your steamer, and then throw the buns on top of that when they cook, so when you take them off they don't stick. But the steamer I bought did come with these little whatever cheesecloth material this is, so let's do this. So basically we're just gonna rip little pieces off. We're gonna make little balls, like so. Get a little filling, maybe like 1 spoonful.
stuff in it.
Again, I've never done this before. I've only seen it done many times. So we're just gonna, oh, and that just kind of fell apart. You know, we're just gonna call that one a pass for now. Another thing I've seen people do is when you get to the top, you kind of want to pinch and then twist the top. This is the struggle right now. The struggle is real and it's really hot. All right, my mistake the whole time, I was putting way too much filling. I think I did it. It's my first good one.
It looks good, babe.
But as long as it cooks okay and it eats fine, you know what? I don't care what it looks like. These also, I kind of stretch it out like a little pizza dough. You stretch the outsides out first before the middle will rip, and then you're just... So I think before we go any further, I'm about halfway through my dough. I think I should cook a couple just to make sure I'm on track. Let's hope these turn out. So I think they take about 8 minutes to steam, but we're gonna find out. I think they're done. I mean, the only way to find out is to cut into it, but look how big this thing is. Oh. Oh, they're sticking. Oh, they're sticking. That's a big bun. I mean, look at this thing. I think that's normally how big they are, but I'm gonna try cooking the pinched part on the bottom to see if that works a little better. But it's sticking to this piece. These were the testers. So the first ones may have been a little bit of a bust, but they were the tester ones, so that's what they're there for. And they kind of blew up like twice the size of what I made them, so I made them a little smaller. So we're just gonna figure out what the best size is, because I have no clue. Okay, so I just took the second round out. What I realized is the cloth thing that I use on the bottom of the tray instead of the cabbage, it needs to be wet. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that this, I mean, that's pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'm actually a little impressed with myself right now. I mean, do you wanna see that up close? So I hope you enjoyed my pork bao video. I mean, I think that the last round came out pretty well. I think I kind of figured out the whole steaming situation, and now I realize I need to use a lot less dough and more filling. But you know what? It was my first time and it was a success. If you like this cooking video and you want me to do some more, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Simps on the Go, and I will throw some more polls out there to see what other kind of videos we can come up with to make that I'm more uncomfortable making. If you like me making something I'm not comfortable making, then I will throw some crazy stuff out there and we'll just try and figure it out. We're on go. Still recording. Now, if you've been following us, oh my, what's happening? Now, if you've been following us, oh, what's happening?
Hey babe, very hot.
We have to turn the AC off because the fan's really loud, and when it's going, you can probably hear that over what I'm saying.
Are you really hot?
Yeah.
You're hot.
Yeah.